you go.
Okay.
You're on.
I don't have to do anything, she says. I get here 3 hours early, and we're 1 minute late. Welcome aboard, everybody, on a lovely Monday morning as the season starts.
You left out something important.
You know what? You're just not my cup of tea.
Listen, you
morning.
left something out important.
What's that?
You said you've been here for 3 hours?
Yeah.
I've been here for 4 hours.
Okay, so good morning to everybody on a lovely Monday morning as we continue our journey through Major League Baseball, through fantasy sports, and although we're leaving out a lot of football, Andy, don't you think we're leaving out football?
Are we leaving it out? It's only once a week. So,
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, yesterday, they trailed by 21 points in the fourth quarter. I almost say innings, you know.
Yeah, in the 14th inning. Right?
The Dolphins trailed by 21 points in the fourth, and then they beat the Jets.
They didn't beat the Jets.
Oh, no. Then they won.
They didn't beat the Jets,
The Jets
and I'll
did
tell
the
you
same-
why.
All right.
Because it was the
Can I
first
get a do-over?
time that the Mets, the Yankees, the Jets, and the Giants all won on the same day.
Okay.
Do you have any idea when the last time that happened? No, you don't have any
No.
idea. It was September 27th, 2009. 9. All right, go
Okay.
ahead. What else happened yesterday?
Let me just say again. The Dolphins were down by 21 points in the fourth quarter, and they won. The
Yes.
Jets were down by 13 in the fourth quarter, and they won. And the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals football, they trailed by 16 in the fourth quarter, and they won. And
Yeah.
how many times has that happened?
Second time ever that three National Football League teams all overcame, I believe was, let's say, 13 or more points in the fourth quarter to win on the same day. That happened last in...
When three teams came
yeah,
back.
three teams. Holly Toledo probably knows. We were there. It was 1992. There you
there?
go. Yeah, we were all at the game. Good morning to Greg, Data Premier, Dennis, Aiden, Timko, Dr. Timko, Mr. Timko, DK Lush, Eddie Heckman, and the gals. Mal Pal is here. Mitchell Arson, Rotoria, Sunholy Toledo, and Zelmo. It's a great crowd. A great bunch of people, right?
Last year, so Ozzy Albies season is done.
Oh, that's terrible.
let's-
Don't you think that this season the same players keep getting hurt? Then they get healthy, and then they get hurt again.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I never paid a lot of attention to that, but I can tell you how Ozzy Albies did this year.
Yeah.
Which, you're right, he kept getting hurt. He only had 269 plate appearances all season. He stole 3 bases and hit 8 home runs.
Yeah, so Ozzy Albies now...
Wait, could that possibly be true?
It's
He
true.
stole 3 bases and he got caught stealing 5 times. This guy done stealing bases even though he's only 25 years old.
Yeah.
His caught stealing has gotten so out of control that they're not going to let him run anymore.
Okay, well, Aiden Timko...
Hello, Aiden's here.
Aiden is here. He says his dad was talking about that yesterday. The same players. They
No,
get hurt.
That's Dennis. His dad is in town, you know.
Oh.
Dennis's dad.
I
Dr.
didn't-
Dennis's dad has been in town.
I had no idea. I
Yes.
thought it was Aiden. Aiden, the Dr. Timko, Mr. Timko.
The 3 generations of Timkos.
3 generations of Timkos in the chat room.
That was last week, Leonard.
Well, I don't know what's going on. Good
But either
morning
way.
to Zelmo. Good morning to you.
We love all the Timkos.
And, of course, he fractured his pinky finger. Okay?
So
His pinky finger.
Well, what's wrong with his legs?
If you just said fractured his pinky, would you have to say finger?
No.
Okay. But he...
Do you know any other body parts called a pinky?
A pinky.
Well, you have a toe, a pinky toe.
A pinky toe, yes. The point is that Albies could be available during the postseason, so we'll see how that pans out.
Last year...
And wait a second, what do you think about Ozzy Albies for next year?
Well, I just wanted to say first, last year he hit 30 homers.
Yes, and stole how many bases?
And he stole 20 bases.
Yes.
So he was 30-20 last year, you guys. And that was in 629 at bats. This year, like I said, he's only had 247, but his numbers are very bad. If you look at his graphs on RotoWire, the little bar charts that they have on there, they're either red or green. His everything is totally in the red. His exit velocity, his batting average, his walk rate, his on-base percentage, ground ball rate, sprint speed, everything is wrong with him. He's got a lot more problems in his pinky finger.
Mitchell and Merrill here. Good morning. Now,
No, I don't like him for next year. I don't know what's wrong with him.
So if I say 20, he's got a pinky finger.
Yeah,
he was
but
playing. His pinky is gonna heal. It's his pinky.
Did he lose the ability to steal bases?
Yes, his doctor told him don't walk on it. Okay.
His doctor.
What are you talking about?
He has been caught stealing more times than he was successful this year.
Okay, but how much? If I go 22 on Albies, what do you do?
I do not.
You do not?
No, I don't know what's wrong with him.
Well, then I'll steal Ozzy Albies next year for $23.
He's got more problems than a pinky finger.
Telling you.
I'll tell you that.
A lot of what we're going to talk about now is value for next year.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
The best time to prepare is now. So,
well, what are you going to do? You're going to bid 22 on this guy who can't run the bases anymore? And he's 25?
Not for now. I'm going to bid on him for next year.
Of course.
I'm going to steal Ozzy Albies next year.
For how much? You think you're going to steal him at 22?
Well, yeah, maybe.
What's wrong with his legs?
Nothing's wrong with his legs.
Why did
he hurt his pinky.
What?
You don't walk on your pinky.
This isn't his first injury this year.
No, it's not. His legs are healed. His legs are fine.
His legs are not fine because he's getting caught 5 times and he's only accomplishing 3 steals.
Okay.
And that's it.
I'll take him any day of the week.
Okay.
The Cleveland Guardians swept Minnesota out of the playoff picture.
How is that possible?
And the White Sox are still barely in because they swept them. They beat them.
So then the White Sox are out too?
No, the White Sox are barely still hanging in.
But they are trailing Minnesota.
Well, here's the deal.
In
the wild card update, the Blue Jays lost to the Orioles. The Mariners lost again to the Angels. Yes. Tampa beat the Rangers. So the Jays are number 1. The Rays are a half behind. The Mariners are a game and a half behind, and the Orioles are 4 games behind the Mariners.
But you said the Minnesota Twins cannot make the playoffs, but the White Sox are behind them in the win in records.
That's right.
So that doesn't make sense.
What are you talking about?
How can Minnesota not make the playoffs, but the White Sox can make the playoffs, and they're I have this standings right here in front of me.
What are the standings? Is Minnesota ahead of the White Sox?
It shows you Minnesota there and then the White Sox there.
Well, the White Sox have 68 losses.
And 70 wins.
And 70 wins. So it's a little tough to tell.
It doesn't make sense.
It's a little tough to tell, okay? But both teams are going to have a tough time making the playoffs, that's for sure.
Okay. What about the Padres? Let's talk about is Malpal here yet or what?
Malpal is here.
Okay, the Padres. Soto came out of the woodwork yesterday. Yep. But, our Macho Man Manny, he just keeps doing his thing. The Padres have beat the Arizona Diamondbacks so many times this year, they could beat them with their eyes closed, I think.
Soto entered yesterday with an .089 batting average, 292 on base. Remember when we said that you get Soto, you automatically win the on base percentage category?
He only had one extra base hit in the last 17 games.
Wow.
So he's been horrible, right?
But he was back to being, so he went 2 for 3, a double, a home run. His home run was his first home run in 18 games. That was over a span of 59 at-bats. So what do you think of Soto for next year? We've seen Soto come on strong. Now we've seen him back off. He ends his home runs around. His first home run since August 28th, only his second extra base hit in his last 18 games. What are we doing for Soto next year? What are you going to? I love him. I'll go 22 again.
I'll bet. No, I'm going higher than that.
Well, I'm going 22.
26.
27.
28.
He's yours. $28.
One Soto for 28?
Yeah.
Last year he went for 50.
Okay.
So, yes, you want to talk about stealing someone? You're not stealing. Who are we talking about that you were trying to steal? Albies. Nobody's taking Albies, dude.
Nobody's taking
But they're taking Soto because you got to give him a break. He had a struggle. The season's very long, Anyway, let's talk about another Padre. You Darvish.
One of my favorites this year, but as good as he's been, he still has been a little disappointing.
In the last month, he's got a 1.59 ERA in the last month. And every single time he goes out there, he throws 7 innings. He's had an excellent season. Really? 3.05
Yep.
ERA, 182 innings, and 183 strikeouts. So maybe the strikeouts are a little disappointing, but
Well,
not.
6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 8 strikeouts against the Diamondbacks, and he has
Yes.
pitched at least 6 innings
Yes.
in his last 21 starts.
He goes out there and he gets it done like a Cleveland pitcher.
He's got 23 quality starts. That is the most
What about Framber?
in the National League. Now, quality starts,
Then
yeah.
we'll talk about Framber
That's the
when
most
we get
in
to
the
the
National
American
League. We'll get to Framber in just a second.
What about the Pirates?
What about the
O'Neal Cruz.
What do you think of O'Neal Cruz?
So O'Neal Cruz clearly has a problem with the curveball. But he can hit sliders and he can hit fastballs and he can hit those. His biggest problem is a curveball.
Yeah.
Yesterday he hit a home run off of his slider.
Right.
Somebody pointed out a Pirates fan on Twitter pointed out he doesn't understand why O'Neal Cruz doesn't see more breaking pitches from his opponents because he can't hit breaking balls and he kills fastballs. So you take a look, and this is right by this Buccos fan. It's you will see them starting to throw him a lot more next year. He's a brand new rookie, so
That's it.
we talk about a sophomore slump. If he doesn't figure out how to approach breaking pitches, he's going to have a sophomore slump.
And if he doesn't, this separates the rookies from the rookies.
Yes.
And that is making adjustments.
Yes.
Making adjustments.
Absolutely. It's the key to any long-term success, right, Leonard?
The entire league knows he has trouble with breaking pitches. He's got to make adjustments. You're listening to The Lady and the Legend right here on the Legends Radio Network. And if you want to do a radio podcast, contact me. The Legends Radio Network is starting to heat up. We want you. It's going to be fantastic, more fun than you've ever had. And we're going to do something that very few have been able to do. Okay?
So the Minnesota Twins have played 2 less games than the White Sox. So
Right.
that, when they say that the Twins were swept out of the playoffs, it's hard to imagine how this would work. But the White Sox in the month of September are playing 700 baseball. They're 12-5 so far. It's the 19th today.
Yeah.
But during that time, in the month of September, they have the best run differential in baseball.
That's right.
We love the White Sox. We love to talk
and they've
about
been doing this without a shortstop, Tim Anderson, and without their center fielder, Lewis Robert. So they're doing it without. But you know who's starting to heat up? Andrew Vaughn.
Andrew Vaughn. He crushes it when the bases are loaded. Andrew Vaughn, this season, while the bases are loaded, he's 7 for 11 with a .636 batting average, 1 double, 1 home run, and 16 RBIs. He loves when the bases are loaded. He's going to get a grand slam soon.
And he's the first White Sox since, remember Alexi Ramirez back in 2008?
I remember him.
To have more than 15 bases loaded RBIs in first or second career season. He's done great. And this season with the bases loaded, did you say?
Yes.
7 for 11?
Yes.
With a home run, a double, 16 RBIs.
Should we give Framber Valdez some
Well,
credit?
wait a second. Andrew Vaughn leads the White Sox in home runs and RBIs. He could be the youngest player. Now, let's go to the chat room for this one. The youngest player to lead the White Sox in both home runs and RBIs since who?
I don't know, but he has 73 RBIs and 17 homers for Vaughn.
Who was the last White Sox player to lead the team in home runs and RBIs?
I bet Unholy knows. Or Daniel.
And it was in the early 1990s, 32 homers, 109 RBIs.
And he was 23 at the time in 1991.
I'm not giving any more clues on this one, okay?
Daniel here? No.
Either you know it or you don't know it. You got it or you don't.
Look at this wonderful picture of the Timcos.
Oh, there they are. Ladies and gentlemen, the chat room comes alive.
He said him and his dad are listening right now and Aiden's at school.
That's Aiden's. Oh, I thought, I didn't know that. Mr. Timko, great to meet you. And there you go. So, there you go. Yeah, the Steelers lost. And, of course, some players are too aggressive at the wrong times. How about that?
The Steelers lost. Did the Bucks lose? Did the Pirates lose?
I have no idea what happened. Oh, by the way, the Cardinals.
It just stunk yesterday.
They were blanked for the 14th time, 3-0. and that goes with the 16 shutouts they have thrown this year.
Guess what?
What?
Albert Pujols is going to hit I think he'll hit at least one home run on Wednesday. At least one. He's going against Sean Manaea, who's a lefty, who's given up the second most home runs of any pitcher in the National League this year.
Wow.
Second only to someone else we're going to talk about today. The most home runs. Anyways,
I'll
Pujols,
wait for that, okay?
That's going to happen. $6.99 on Wednesday. Mark it down in your DFS.
Etch that in your kitchen table, as in 4 or 5 games.
He's going to be so popular, he'll probably cost everything.
Yeah, but the Cardinals have had 1 run in the first 8 innings.
Oh.
1 run in the first 5. They've had no runs in the first 10, and no runs in 9 innings on Saturday and Sunday. The Cardinals struck out 17 times in a 1-0 win in 11 innings on Saturday. They struck out just twice on Sunday. But look, the Cardinals.
Paul DeJong is hitting.
Paul DeJong.
Okay, wait.
But here's the.
How's the question? Hold on, I have a question before you move on.
Go ahead.
Okay, I heard them talking about this on the radio. What is more exciting to you, Judge getting his 60 something? Is it 62 home runs he needs?
Judge passing Roger Maris.
How many does Roger Maris have?
Or Pujols
61?
hitting 700.
Yes. That's the question. And
I would think it's Pujols hitting 700.
It's more exciting for you?
I think it is, because the Maris thing it's debatable. Do you go with the Maris? Do you go with the Bonds? If Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame, his numbers can't be idolized. They just can't be. But I'll tell you, I remember watching Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle going after the home run record. And then I'll tell you, that captivated the entire country.
Okay, who do you listen to on? We listen to Loud Outs every night. Who are the 2 guys? That's who was talking about
C.J.
this.
Nitkowski. Well, there's a bunch of guys.
And Ryan
Spilborn.
They made a point that I didn't come up with on my own, but I do think I agree with it. The excitement for the Yankees, though, with Judge hitting this huge milestone and the Yankees in contention, he's just really energizing his team right now too, and the fans. So it's more exciting for this year that what Aaron Judge is doing, but in the overall picture, it's got to be Pujols, and of course for me, it's always going to be Pujols.
Mm-hmm. Do you still have Garrett Cole as a top pitcher? Do you have Garrett Cole as your top as a second or third round pitcher in fantasy baseball? How much would you spend for Garrett Cole next year?
No. I'm the wrong guy to ask this, because I have a huge problem with him. I don't like his tantrums.
Well, he gave up 2 more home runs on Sunday. He has now given up 8 home runs in his last 5 starts.
That guy has 0 mound presence, okay? He just gets so worked up and so angry at stupid stuff.
Yeah, well, he allowed 4 hits, hasn't given up more than 6 hits in an outing since the beginning of August. But there's no doubt that Garrett Cole has shown a propensity for getting hurt by a couple of big hits in every game.
See, the media likes him, so you see how they put that? He just only gets hurt by just 1 batter a game. It's not really just what his stats say. It's really just 1 or 2 hitters that got his number. So he's actually really good.
Okay, where is everybody in the chat room? You see, the season is winding down, and people.
Let's talk about let's not forget to give this answer to this one.
What's the question? Oh, Frank Thomas.
Yeah.
Frank Thomas had 32 homers and 109 RBIs in 1991. Okay, so there you go.
The youngest player to lead the White Sox in both home runs and RBIs.
Frank Thomas.
Yep, he's the last one. 32 homers.
And I know you wanted to talk about Framber Valdez, right?
Well, I do, because
he's having a great season.
Think of this.
25th quality.
Straight.
Oh, that's right, straight, yeah.
Consecutive.
Okay.
Is that a big deal? I don't think I've ever heard...
Big deal, straight and consecutive are the same thing.
Right, that's a big deal. I don't think I've ever heard of a pitcher getting 25 straight
innings. He yielded 4 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, so he gets the quality start record. And what are we paying for Framber Valdez next year?
I'll pay 25.
You're going 25 for Framber Valdez?
Yes.
You think he... All right, here's the question. This goes to the chat room.
I think he's worth more.
Who would you rather have next year? Your turn for a pitcher. You're going to take Garrett Cole or Framber Valdez?
there's no
Garrett
question.
Cole
I'm
or
taking
Framber Valdez?
I don't like Cole personally, so that's my bias, okay? But I don't like Cole, and I don't think he's... another thing about Framber that you should never forget, and Malpal taught me this, he's one of the top pitchers in the leagues. When you add...
Wait a second. When did he teach it?
A couple years ago, Malpal taught us that if you add a pitcher's ground ball percentage plus strikeout percentage and it equals 70, then this pitcher is a huge, good, this pitcher will probably succeed or break out. It's really great at finding out who the breakout pitchers are going to be when you do that one simple formula. And Framber Valdez has a ton of ground balls, and he also has a decent strikeout rate. So this guy has 176 strikeouts and 185 innings pitched, but his ground ball percentage is what puts him over the top. And I do think you're not going to have to pay nearly what you're going to have to pay for Cole for this guy. I'm bidding up to 27, but I'll never pay more than that for a pitcher.
27 for Framber Valdez. Let's just go to the chat room again. Say hello, Eddie Heckman back in here to the Timko family. Now we got a family. All right, in the chat room. The Timko family, nice to see you. All right, now, Shohei Ohtani. This is crazy. Ohtani against Judge. I don't think there's anybody who would not give the MVP to Judge. But what do you do with Ohtani? He's scheduled to make 3 more starts this year, and he could get the ERA title. He's 14 innings shy of qualifying. He's going to get the 14 innings. He could win the ERA title, do everything that he, but Aaron Judge on pace for 65 homers and 139 RBIs. So what do you think? I don't think there's any question that it's going to be Judge, right?
Well, you were talking about this on Friday, and me and Mark in the car listening. We were traveling to his doctor's appointments, and we had a conversation about this. Should it be Judge or Ohtani? And I put it to him like this. Ohtani, Judge is having an excellent season.
Malpal says he's taking Framber over...
Yes, me too. Okay. But listen to what Mark had to say
over Cole.
About the Judge versus Ohtani.
Yes.
I said, but one of them pitches and hits, and they both have excellent numbers. I mean, Ohtani is one of the best pitchers in baseball, right? And one of the best hitters in baseball. And he says, well, does Judge pitch? And I said, no. I said, but don't you think that they need to come from a winning team? He said he did not agree with that. He said that he doesn't think that the MVP needs to come from a winning team.
Okay, I remember Ernie Banks is an example of an MVP who came in for a last-place team.
Yeah.
All right, how about that? But the key is, if Aaron Judge, all right, is traded to the Angels and Ohtani is traded to the Yankees are no longer contenders. And Aaron Judge may make the Angels a contender.
Why do you say they wouldn't be contenders?
Because Aaron Judge is just... Look, Aaron Judge, 316 batting average. That's third in the American League. Luis Arraez has a 317 batting average.
Okay.
59 home runs. He's first in baseball. 127 RBIs. First, and he entered September the favorite for the MVP, and all he's done is bat .491. He's gotten on base 59% of me.
So listen to this. You say, I just don't agree. The Yankees have a run differential of 209. It's the second highest in baseball. The only team that has a higher run differential is the Dodgers. They didn't need Aaron Judge. They definitely needed some pitching, though, and they would still have a huge grasp on the lead in the AL East. So I do not agree that Judge helped their team and got them to the playoffs, but Ohtani wouldn't have done that.
Good morning to Jeff Trella, who just joined us in the chat room. Nice to see Jeff in here.
Anyways.
So Aaron Judge, before the All-Star game, 89 games, had 33 homers.
Yeah.
After the All-Star game, 53 games, 26 homers. Okay? So he's still rocking and rolling. Now, what about, you talked about the White Sox before. They're 13-5 since Miguel Cairo took over.
Wait a minute. I thought he was ruining the team last week.
No, that was, he was, word has it that he's not very well liked
well, that's
in
just
the clubhouse,
a lie.
okay?
You can't trust that stuff.
All right, a manager change should have taken place 3 months ago.
Now they say this, right?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
People saying that this manager change should have taken place 3 months ago, but last week they said that this poor Miguel Cairo was not well liked, and he was wrecking the team's spirits.
And all kinds of stuff. The Mets tied the Major League record. They struck out 20 times and did not walk anybody. Okay? 20 strikeouts with no walks.
And they still beat the Pirates, right?
That's the most strikeouts in a 9-inning game in Mets history. DeGrom, Lugo, Rodriguez did it. So
wait a minute. So the Mets pitchers actually struck out the Pirates 20 times
and didn't walk anybody.
Okay, I got it. I thought we were talking about the Mets hitting.
No, the Pirates are bad. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so
DeGrom was excellent. Such a nice-looking kid.
Yep, Aaron DeGrom. And Aaron DeGrom...
Aaron DeGrom.
Oh, Jacob DeGrom. He faced 16 batters.
You want to talk about Judge, don't you?
16 batters in the first 5 innings of the game. He struck out 13 of the first 16 batters. Okay?
DeGrom is excellent.
And he's gone the most games where a starter went 5 or more innings, didn't allow a run. So I got to tell you.
The Mets and the Dodgers are tied.
Yep, 31-31.
So you love Judge, and we're done talking about him for now.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Padres.
Okay.
Well, we already did, but let's just reiterate. They're barely clinging on to the wild card berth, and you know Malpal, Mr. Glass half empty on the Padres.
Well, I was watching the game on Friday with Jose Abreu.
He said a long time ago the Padres wouldn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, but Jose Abreu, 12 times in his career, has been hit. And in that span of time since 2014, the most any other non-American League West player has been hit by the Mariners is 4.
The Mariners.
But the Mariners have hit Abreu 12 times. That is crazy. And the Padres, clinging to that wild card berth, they're over. Look, we talked about Soto. They're still waiting for Josh Bell to do something. And it's just...
Josh Bell is a Padre?
That's right. You don't even know he's a Padre. That's right. Josh Bell's a Padre. The Angels... Now, here's the other thing. Yeah. The Angels are under 500 7 years in a row.
Well, I don't know.
That's the only team in Major League Baseball. If the Angels got... And I know I've been talking about this. It's never going to happen. If the Angels acquired... Judge as a free agent, what do you think that would do? To have Judge, no, don't forget, the team is for sale. So let's say somebody buys the team and says, the hell with it, we're going for it. They keep Trout, they keep Ohtani, and they acquire Aaron Judge. What happens to the Angels then? Are you still going to say, but they need pitching?
Are you kidding me? I've been waiting for the last 45 seconds to say that. Yes, I'm going to say it until they get some pitching. What the hell is wrong with these people?
And I still
This is like the Jets drafting quarterback after quarterback and not having any defense and stuff.
The most entertaining part of sports is coming up right around the corner, and there are some radio stations that are not even covering it because it's not football. I mean, you got Trout. Is he going to get traded? You got Ohtani. Is he a free agent? Judge is a free agent. Then you got the great shortstops, Correa, Bogarts. Okay. They're all out there.
Guess
it's
what?
going to... I don't guess.
3 players in baseball. You mentioned just now 2 of them. 3 players in baseball have hit 10 or more home runs since August 10th.
Okay.
Can you name? No. You don't. Not supposed to peek.
Well, I don't have to peek.
Okay.
I know 2: Aaron Judge and Pujols.
Yes.
And the third
Trout
is Mike Trout.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty good. And and Joey Meneses hit an inside the park home run on Friday. He was hitting .323.
Is he
and Schwindel has been let go by the Chicago Cubs.
Why? Because they have so many good hitters on their team?
He was like, and by the way, I've talked about this, Andy and I, since making his Philly debut on August 4th, Brandon Marsh has a .300 batting, this is as of Friday, 24 hits, 2 homers, and 12 RBIs.
And batting .300.
What do you think of...
I like him, but I'm not going to pay $20 for him. I'm not.
You're not?
No.
All right.
What about Luzardo?
Well, he surrendered 2 runs, 5 hits, 6 innings, struck out. He's okay.
Let me tell you
And
this.
I know Malpal likes him an awful lot.
I got to tell you something that is so striking to me. You brought it up last week, and I looked it up, and it's true. His home-away splits are unbelievable. At home this year, he has a 5.76 ERA. Away from home, his ERA is 2.60. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is a tale of two pitchers. And why is he doing this away from home when he pitches in Miami? The best pitcher's ballpark in baseball.
Wow.
And he's doing this at home. He's got an almost 6 ERA. And this is the best ballpark to pitch. He's such an enigma, dude. Nothing about this guy makes sense. But I will tell you this. His fastball is back up to 96.2. And he's a lefty. You know, he was the best rookie lefty we had in baseball.
Well, you can get him pretty cheap. What does he go for? $8 next year, Luzardo? Is he worth that?
No.
You won't pay $8 for Luzardo?
He pitched so far this season. He's pitched 81 innings, and he's never ever pitched 100. Last year he pitched 95. That was the most.
So how much are you paying for Luzardo on the come, knowing that he could
like 2, and it will be that's just even too many if it's an only league, dude.
He's going to have a year where he is going to break out and become a very
24.
nice pitcher.
But if he can't pitch well in Miami, it really gives me... So that's just something to look at. Because when you average out his ERA, it's 3.75 on the season. It's not great. It's not horrible. But when you look at these splits, you have to say, what the heck is going on?
All right, well, a lot of games yesterday, so let's go to the games and just give you some of the highlights. And again... Thank you so much to Greg and Dennis Timko and DK Lush and Eddie Heckman and Jeff and Malpal and Unholy Toledo.
One more thing.
Unbelievable turnout.
Baez, Hobby Baez. 26 errors. Where's Gibbs? Is Gibbs here?
No.
Remember when he asked us, Baez or O'Neill Cruz?
It's teaching day.
It's one.
A lot of teachers. That's why we don't have a big chat room. Go ahead.
One more problem with me losing to you. You being right and me being wrong.
Yeah.
That's
a big problem.
Lately, it's been happening a lot.
Well,
anyways, Baez, 26 errors and 25 walks on the season. He's committed more errors in the field than he's walked.
Yeah, he's turned out not to be the star player that I thought he was going to be.
He's got 9 stolen bases and 14 homers. Last year, he had 31 homers.
Mm-hmm.
Not only 31 homers, but 18 stolen bases on top of that.
Right.
His batting average is worse than ever. It's finally caught up with this guy. You know, up until 2019, he had a great batting average. It was 280, 290. But he was striking out over 30% of the time. And you didn't even notice it because his batting average would have never, ever drove you to go look at it. And then when I figured that out, I think Lou told me that, and I went and looked at it. I couldn't believe it. And I said, this is going to catch up with him. Then the last 3 years, it finally has caught up to him, and it's not going away. He's 29 years old. He is going to go for less than half of what O'Neill Cruz goes for, and rightfully so.
Okay.
Maybe not even $10.
$10?
Would you pay 10 for Baez?
Yes.
Next year?
I would go up to 12.
Okay.
I think that's where he's going to go.
Okay.
Javier Baez. White Sox played the Tigers yesterday. We talked about Andrew Vaughn, his first career grand slam. The White Sox beat the Tigers. Everybody beats the Tigers. And Eloy hit one. Eloy and A.J. Pollock connected. The White Sox won for the third time in 4 games. What do you think of Eloy for next year? I predicted 2 years ago he would be a star by this time. I don't think he's made it to the although he has glimpses, okay?
In the last 11 games, he's 17 for 43 with 5 homers and 16 RBIs. That's in 11 games. So
I mean, he's not far.
I think you might be able to get a discount on him next year.
And what do you pay for Eloy next year? He's going to go close to $21, $22.
I'll pay that.
I think. You will pay that?
Yes.
Eloy is good. He's at 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Gavin Sheets at 2 hits and 2 RBIs. And the White Sox trying to catch the central leading, I still call them the Indians, but they're running out of time. They trail Cleveland by 3.5 games after the Guardians lost to Minnesota. So Chicago hosts Cleveland on Tuesday night in the opener of a big 3-game set, okay? And they're
Yeah, the White Sox pretty much crush the Tigers every time they play them. They're 12-4 against them.
right.
It's like the Padres against the Diamondbacks. You can always bet on a win.
And the White Sox, 31 homers in their last 19 games. They're 27-5 when they hit at least 2 homers.
But guess who was held out of the lineup?
Who's that?
Luis Robert.
Really?
He was out of the lineup.
What a shocker.
No, do you want to know why?
Why?
What do you think?
He was
Rest?
he was tired.
It was a precaution, they said.
A precaution.
He could return tomorrow. And Kopech, he said he's been shut down with a precaution, but he hopes to. He's shut down as a precaution too.
As you said,
so now we're shutting people down before they get injured.
As a precaution, just in case you get hurt, we're going to put you on the injured list. That's the JIC list, just in case.
You got a team here that is fighting for the playoffs.
I don't get it.
Luis Robert sitting because of a precaution is
just in case.
Is that dereliction of duty as a manager? You're
well,
supposed
you
to
could
try
also say you never know, right?
If he's hurt, put him on the injured list, but don't. This is unbelievable.
I know you said Jimenez 17 for 43, 5 homers, 16 RBIs in his last 11 games.
Yes.
Wow. He could be a hummer.
Tampa Bay beat Texas 5-3.
Yes.
Jose Siri hits homers. He hit
a homer.
Also
Christian Betancourt.
Yeah.
Hit a homer. Betancourt had 3 hits. Siri,
and Tampa now has for sure it's a fifth straight winning season.
Right. Okay, they're in the mix for one of the 3 wild cards.
Jeffrey Springs was good.
Springs is a good pitcher. Anybody in the chat room have Jeffrey Springs?
I did in Tout Wars.
Yes, I know you did.
But he didn't give up a run in his last 3 starts. So it totaled 14 2/3 innings before he gave up a run. And he did pitch 5 2/3 yesterday with 3 hits.
So
3 runs.
He's a very unheralded pitcher that you should know. And, of course, Pete Fairbanks.
He was the 4th
he got his 8th save in 8 chances. So he could be something.
And Corey Seager homered. Josh Young.
Tyler Glasnow struck out 4. 2 perfect innings in his third.
Is he coming back?
Yeah, 6. He's 6. I didn't know he was 6'8". Did you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Triple E. You like the tall guys, right?
I just like good pitchers. He is a good pitcher until he had to stop using stuff, and then he hurt his elbow.
And guess who else was hurt? Nick Solak got hurt again.
Who cares?
He'll miss the rest.
Is anybody relying on Nick Solak
Nobody.
right now?
It's so weird. The same guys keep getting hurt.
Boston crushed the Kansas City.
Rafael Devers had 4 hits and 3 RBIs.
Pham is back after he smacked some dude.
That's right.
Remember what he did?
No.
He's back.
Last place Boston had dropped 3 or 4, 7 of them. They're out of it. And Bogarts can opt out of his contract with the Red Sox. He's raised his average to .316. Okay? Salvatore Perez hit a home run. And Nick Pivetta made his 30th start for the 2nd straight year.
How much is Bogarts getting paid?
I don't know, but he's going to be a free agent.
Well, doesn't it matter? No, he can opt out of his contract.
Yeah. And become a free agent.
If he wants.
If he wants. And he will opt out. Okay?
So then that means he's not getting paid very much.
Well, it means he's...
or that's just what someone told you, that he's going to opt out.
It means he's going to opt out.
Some writer said that.
Yes. You got him. You got a couple of shortstops that are going to be out there next year. And he may not be the best, but he'll be getting paid. Nate Eovaldi, who also can become a free agent through a simulated game. And, of course, the Marlins and the Nats. Here we go. Sandy Alcantara pitched his Major League leading 5th complete game, a 7-hitter. But, okay, look, Miami 3-1 over the Nationals. No big deal.
Okay, keep going. I'm looking up Xander Bogaerts' contract.
Yeah, okay. Garrett Cooper hit an opposite field homer. He's starting to hit a little bit. Nelson Cruz remained out of the lineup as well. Edward Cabrera, somebody that I like. He pitched 5 no-hit innings against the Cubs August 5th. He faces the Cubs again today.
So Xander Bogaerts gets paid $20 million a year through 2026.
Okay. He could do much better. Trey Turner is another free agent shortstop.
You think he could do much better than $20 million a year?
Yeah, I think he could do better than $20 million a year. I think he could easily do better. Spencer Strider had a no-hitter into the 6th inning. You like Spencer Strider for next year?
Yes.
How
of
much?
Course.
17, 18, 19? Atlanta beat Philadelphia 5-2 on Sunday. A 3-game sweep. So what do you think of Spencer Strider?
I like him, but I don't know how much I'm going to try to pay for him. It depends. These youngsters are they're just hard to figure out what they're going to do. And so when it starts reaching a point of money, I like the veterans better.
1 run, 1 hit, 3 walks.
3 walks.
And Strider began the day ranked 4th in the National League.
And that was his 6th double-digit strikeout game.
All right, 192 strikeouts in 128 innings. Not bad.
Yeah.
Rhys Hoskins returned to the lineup.
What's Rhys Hoskins doing?
No, he's been
this poor guy
too many times. He went 0 for 4, but
he had hand precautions.
Matt Olson, who I thought would be terrific, 0 for 4. He's hitting 062 with 1 homer and 4 RBIs since the end of August. His average is now 234.
It dropped 22 points.
Yeah, it dropped 22 points. Right.
So I don't care that much about his batting average as much as I do about the fact that he's not hitting home runs. So you did kind of expect not that great of a batting average from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But now, when he's not hitting home runs too, also, let's give Eddie Heckman some love.
How's that? Adley Rutschman, 2-run single in the
Because
ninth.
what they did...
Baltimore beat Toronto with a triple play. How about that?
Okay, they didn't just beat him with a triple play.
Yeah.
They did... It was an amazing game to be able to beat the Toronto Blue Jays.
Thanks to Eddie Heckman for believing in the Orioles. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, they came back in the 9th inning and they got it done, and they did have a triple play.
All right.
They did have a triple play, but it's just fun watching them. I'm watching the recaps of the games, and I'm just thinking to myself, Baltimore's going to lose the game because they were down the whole game. They were
Vladimir Guerrero
Vladdy hit a homer.
Hit a home run. Danny Jansen hit a home run.
And then all of a sudden, the sky clears up and all the clouds are gone. And the Orioles come back in the 9th inning and they win the game.
And Alec Manoah allowed 1 run and 4 hits in 6 innings. Ryan Mountcastle was held out of the starting lineup, so
it was wonderful.
Like to see him come back. Minnesota against Cleveland with Joe Ryan. Shutout ball for the second straight. Became only the second Minnesota starter to reach the 8th inning this season.
Whole season.
Yep. So the Twins over the league leading over the Cleveland team. Cleveland won its first 3 games of the 5-game series, and they have another game. They have another game today. Okay.
Yes. Why are you scrolling so fast?
Because we were looking to end the show. Okay. Chat room is is a little lazy today. Jake DeGrom struck out 13.
Quit being lazy, chat room.
He's the most ever for a Met pitcher who threw 5 or fewer innings. And look, the Met pitcher.
Joely Rodriguez pitched, and he struck out 5.
Met pitcher struck out 20 batters.
Yeah.
20 batters against Pittsburgh. And I'll tell you what, the Pirates really have to do something.
Max Scherzer is going to be activated to start tonight. So, here we go. Max Scherzer is the toughest pitcher in baseball. Hands down.
Why?
He will pitch injured if he has to. And he will not even blink an eye about it.
He'll be making his 4th attempt at earning his 200th win of his career. What about the Yankees in Milwaukee?
I'm sick and tired of talking about Judge.
All right, let's say 11th multi-homer game for Aaron Judge.
And Severino's supposed to come back. I think I read Severino's coming back.
Yep. And Roger Maris, 61 home runs for the Yankees in 1961.
Anthony Rizzo's been out, with a bad back, and that's never a good sign. Okay,
but he homered his return.
But he homered, and that was he hit over 30 home runs this season.
Wow, quiet.
Rowdy Tellez, 2 runs.
He's been amazing. He had a 2-run homer as well.
What, he's amazing compared to who? The rest of those?
No, Rowdy Tellez. He's got big numbers. Look up Rowdy Tellez' numbers. And Nestor Cortez will make his 26th start. They open a 2-game series against visiting Pittsburgh.
And we already talked about Framber. 25 straight quality starts.
Jordan Alvarez and Maldonado had 4 RBIs. The Astros beat Oakland. You know what? No big deal beating Oakland. None.
No, but it is a big deal to get that many quality starts.
And guess who's back on the injured list for Oakland?
Laureano.
We've been talking about how healthy he's been getting every week.
He's the only
Now he's healthy, and now he's back on the injured list.
He's the only hitter I know on Oakland.
It just doesn't stop. Stuart Fairchild homered. Louis Cessa 5 shutout innings.
Oh,
Cincinnati
boo.
shut down St. Louis,
Boo.
who managed only 2 hits. Montgomery
Just remember.
struck out 9 and walked 2. He allowed 3 runs, 7 hits, and 5 in the third. Another good game for Montgomery.
Albert Pujols' 699th home run will happen on Wednesday.
Okay, that's according to the Roto Lady. The Reds have used a record 65 players, the most in the majors. It just doesn't stop. Chicago and Colorado, Randall Grichuk had 2 hits. He's been a disappointment. Connor Joe hit a solo homer. Brandon Rogers had a run-scoring ground-out, but he hurt himself, and he may go on the injured list.
Young Gomes homered.
Daniel Bard got his 30s.
Okay.
Daniel
Okay.
Bard.
Okay.
You love this guy.
Yes, I do. Because he has battled back physically from many, many injuries that should have taken him out of baseball. And, of course, being a Red Sox fan, I watched him grow up. I just love to see him being successful. I mean, this guy did not cost a lot. And he was doing the same thing last year. People just thought it was a fluke.
No.
30-second save.
I'll tell you something else that's not a fluke. Kenny Flamia is in the chat room. Good morning to Kenny.
So are you going to pay next year for Bard? Nobody's going to
30
spend a lot
seconds save.
on Bard.
I don't know. What about Blackman, who was in a 5 for 44 slump? He's starting to come out. Play Charlie Blackman. By the way, Rogers, as I said, left in the second inning, a left hamstring.
Nobody
tightness.
cares about him but you.
Nobody cares about him.
Luis Rengifo.
Yes.
2 home runs. Second time that he's done that in 3 games.
Okay.
And then their youngster, Livan Soto, he got his first hit and got his first home run yesterday.
That's... So Rengifo is going deep 4 times in the series.
Rengifo.
He's got 15 home runs this season.
His name is Rengifo.
And nobody drafted this guy. What? His name is what?
Rengifo.
Rengifo?
Yes.
Reed Detmers gave up a run, 4 hits.
And Marco Gonzalez.
Yep.
He's 10 and 14. Man, is he just a... Come on, man. You pitch in Seattle's the second best.
But he's homer.
Park.
He's given up a lot of homers. He allowed 3 homers for the 4th time this season. Julio Rodriguez missed the
Julio
second
down by
straight
the
game.
schoolyard.
Will you stop singing? Nobody pays you to sing.
You're right. I do it for free.
Okay, Soto had 3 hits. We talked about Soto before. San Diego moved a half game ahead of Philadelphia
That's
for
crazy.
the second National League wild card.
May I just reiterate that Malpal said the
all you do is talk about Malpal and you reiterate with
Well,
Malpal.
if you made this...
Have you and Malpal ever reiterated together?
all the time.
That's what I was afraid
Hold on
of.
a minute.
Yes.
If you made this prediction at the beginning of the year, you would deserve credit too, and I would give it to you.
Okay.
He said that the Padres weren't going to make the playoffs, and everybody thought he was crazy, including yours truly.
Yes.
And especially, then they traded for Soto and all this, and of course, you would say you're crazy. If you think that the Padres aren't going to make the playoffs,
A.J. Preller
they're
was
on the
out
verge
there.
of not making the playoffs.
Okay, but they're selling out a lot of ball games.
Yes, and Soto is going to hit, and Hader seems like he did figure it out, right?
How about Brandon Drury? He was 5 for 14 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs in the series. He's 7 for 26 in the 7 games at Chase Field. I got to tell you, Brandon Drury, are you drafting him next year?
No.
You're not.
No.
So you think the success of Brandon Drury is not real?
I just don't think is it that exciting?
No. Mookie Betts had an RBI double in the 10th. Max Muncy, a bases loaded walk.
I'm going to draft Clevenger again.
The Dodgers beat the Giants, 4-3,
Barely.
so they're back in. Craig Kimbrell.
They didn't beat him till the 10th inning.
Craig Kimbrell, scoreless night to pick up his
A win.
A win. Andrew Haney, 4 scoreless innings.
This guy stinks.
Yeah, he does stink.
Do not draft him in fantasy.
Leave Andrew Haney alone.
Patrick Sandoval is good, though.
And Alex Wood's season is over. He was not cleared to resume throwing this weekend.
Because he has an impingement.
31
What is that?
years old.
What's an impingement?
I don't know what it is, but I know it's not good. And the Giants claimed, Cotton.
Jarrell.
Jarrell Cotton off waivers from the Twins. So then Clayton Kershaw goes for his 20th career win against the Diamondbacks.
And he's going up against Jacob Junis.
Yes.
That's Colorado.
All-time favorite. No, against the Giants.
Oh, the Giants are going up against Colorado.
Oh, yes, that's
and
right.
Clayton Kershaw is going up against the Diamondbacks.
There you go.
No problem. But it is Merrill Kelly that he's pitching up against, and he's got both of these guys have great ERAs.
Sincere thanks to Greg, Data Premier, Dennis Timko, Dennis Timko's dad, Dennis Timko's kid, Dennis Timko's wife, and all of his patients. Okay, and the great DK Lush and Eddie Heckman and Jeff Trella and Kenny Flamia and Malpal. Lady and Unholy Toledo was here. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you all. And if you get into the chat room, you can take a look at Mr. Timko, Dr. Timko,
And the cutest.
and Aiden Timko. Okay?
Go Aiden.
Thanks, everybody. The lady and the legend, we appreciate you all, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.